Welcome back to Brothers in Christ. This is episode 2. We have 2 new guests. Jackson's going to be on here for long term. He's our new host.
Yep.
And we have a guest speaker today from the Czech Republic, Kryštof Vyskočáni.
Hi.
So we're going to start off with these two giving their testimonies, and then we're just going to get into some conversation. You guys okay with that?
Yep, we're good.
Jackson.
You guys get the mics.
I want to hear Jackson start.
Okay. Had a rough childhood, but recently, past like 2 or 3 years, some bad stuff has happened, but I feel like it's brought me closer to God, and that's for the better. So I think God gives his soldiers, his strongest soldiers, the hardest work so they can accomplish the best things.
100%. 100%.
So I had a pretty good childhood. I never had a relationship with God. I first started talking to God when my grandpa passed away. And yeah, some stuff happened in Czech Republic and I just needed a change, so I decided to go here for 1 year. And it's pretty nice. I went to church first with Calvin Jackson. And it was pretty nice since. I want to get baptized and I feel like it's been going pretty good.
So, Kryštof, what was it like in Czech Republic when it comes to, and I was gonna ask, I think I've asked this before, but what was like religion and Christianity, how was it viewed in that area, Europe? Because I've heard some places it's more, some places it's not, but.
Well, especially in the Czech Republic, you have a lot of churches, a lot of old churches, but I've never really met religious people. Some people go to church on Sunday, but not a lot, so I was never I never really had a relationship with
Yeah,
God.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. So when you came here, was it just like a complete jump? Because at first you were in a different group, right?
Yeah, well, I was firstly with the soccer group, and then I went with the wrestling group, Colvine and stuff, and then I met Jackson and Caleb, and it's been going really nice. And yeah, since I came here, I wanted to go check out the church and see what it's all about, and it's been going pretty good. I love it here.
That's good. That's good. So when you go back, do you think how's that going to go for you? Do you think?
To be honest, I don't know, but I really want to keep the relationship with Christ that I built up here.
100%.
And I'm gonna try to go to church. I don't know if there's any ceremonies on Sundays. Maybe we're gonna see, but I don't think there's anything like here.
Hold on. I don't think this mic's working.
No way.
No, it doesn't matter. That still would pick it up.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. Yeah. Is it working?
No, it's flashing.
Yeah. It's flashing. Yeah. Is it?
Oh, it's working now.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a voice!
So what did you ask again? I forgot.
How is your relationship with God going to translate when you go back?
Oh, how it's gonna look when I go back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to go to church on Sundays if there's something. Churches are open. I think they're open almost every day of the week, so you can just go pray. And the atmosphere in the church is just insane. I don't know if it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's 500 years old. You can see all the cool glasses.
Really?
And, yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah. Right.
It's not called a piano. It's has a
Norca?
Yeah.
No, not Norca.
I don't know.
Orca? It's a whale.
No, I actually think it's called an organ.
It's
An organ?
An organ, yeah. That's what it is.
organ.
Yeah.
An organ? That's something in your body.
An organ.
So, yeah, weddings are in church sometimes, and that's about it. Or you sing songs for Christmas in church. Yeah, that's about it.
Christmas service here is pretty good.
Yeah.
Service here is really good.
What's your biggest fear going back to the Czech going to be? Do you think it is?
Well, my biggest fear is obviously school, because I didn't.
Well, how is school down there?
Yeah. So school is really bad. School here, I would say I like going to school here. It's really fun. In Czech, you just learn, and it's not fun. Here you have dress up days, Falcon Spirit and stuff.
Nothing like that. You can pick your schedule after middle school. If you go to high school, you have to pick a
Wait.
certain.
You don't have to go to high school?
You have.
Yeah, I
no,
remember
you don't
you
have
saying-
to, but you're gonna be a
Homeless bum.
trash man,
Like I remember you
Oh,
saying
a
like,
garbage man.
like you have to like pick like what you want to do.
Hmm.
Like, very
Yeah,
early.
you have to pick a what's it called? A theme
like
or
Like a career?
career? Yeah. So I picked engineering. I can do like I could probably do all the lights in the house and the what's it called? You plug your phone in,
Electricity?
cords.
Yeah, electricity.
We did all that. It just
You already know how to do that?
yes.
So why don't you just become an electrician? Is there like
I hate it. It's not fun. Nothing about it is fun. The only thing I like is sports, and that's what I'm gonna miss here the most. Like school sports. Nothing like that.
There's not a lot of school spirit there.
No.
Are you gonna try and join?
When you go to school, it's hell.
Really?
It's just pain. You just want to get out of here, get out of there, and usually go to school at like 8 and leave 4, 5,
What?
What?
and you also have to come.
Dude,
So the last like month, I was going to school at 6 and leaving school at 6 because I had to finish up work. So I was doing
12-hour day.
yes. What did you say?
So when you go back, like here I got it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna switch schools.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna do IT, which is like with computers. I'm not gonna like it, but that's the only school that can take me back, and I feel like it's gonna be way better than engineering because I didn't like anything about that, and I didn't even get anything about that.
Yeah. So there, I remember like you were saying like there's churches, like you know all of that, and like that's good. You can continue that relationship with yourself. But I know a big thing for me is when I moved to Vegas, there was like not a lot of community. That was a big impact. Like not a lot of friends to like help me, like you know push me along with Christ like that. You know I have now. So when you go back, like what are your like expectations gonna be with like your friends? Like how is that gonna go? You think?
So sometimes I try to convince like my close friends to try to believe in God, but they have all these questions that I like don't know how to answer, and I feel like my best friend, his name is Tom.
Tomas.
Yeah, he's the goat. So
Shout
he-
out Tomas.
shout out Tomas. Ciao Tomas.
Ciao.
Yeah, it's gonna be good with him. I feel like he's open to new things. I feel like just believing in Christ really helped me to become a better person.
Yeah.
I'm not that judging. I'm trying to curse less.
Yeah.
And I really felt a change, and I'm more like welcoming and open.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
when I go back, the community is gonna be a big thing because you can keep yourself accountable here with you guys. Rooted is good. We're doing the stuff on
Yeah.
Wednesday. There, I'm just gonna kind of be alone. I don't know. Read the Bible from time to time.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, can you watch church?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in churches, you like sing songs.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke the first time I came there.
Really?
Wednesday, yeah, youth group. I was like, "What is this?"
I do remember that
Is
the
this a
first time you
stage?
showed
Like,
up.
what are they gonna do? Nothing like that in Czech. They're like the sermons are they called, right? They're dressed in like all this
Drip.
white, just
Like the robes? Like
Yeah.
folks?
yeah, and they just
Yeah, that's what counts.
read probably the Bible. I've never been there really because I honestly thought it was kind of a joke.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So I think definitely a big thing, like I can kind of relate to, or I'm going to be able to relate to when you go back. When I came from Vegas, like in the last like episode, I kind of talked about how my relationship with God was like growing in Billings. But then as soon as I went back to Vegas, it was like, yo, like why would this happen? You know what I mean? And honestly, like you can experience something like that too. Like, do you genuinely like if you could, like, would you like stay here if you like
Yes.
would be able to?
If
Yeah.
it's kind of weird to say, but it's like my dream here.
Yeah. I know
You
what
have
you're
college with sports. I never even thought it was real.
saying.
It
Yeah.
just, yeah, if I could, I would stay here definitely. But
Yeah. And
then
it's a
you-
possibility too.
well, you have to.
I mean,
My
you're-
mom, my dad, my
Yeah,
friends,
it's
my,
true.
my little sister. It was really hard when I left. They're all crying on the airport. was really hard for me.
Yeah, I get that.
And the first 2 months, I
But-
didn't really have anyone here.
Like, what if they came, perchance? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Do you think your parents would be open to moving here? Or do you think that
No,
would be a
no.
possibility?
because we still have family, like grandparents and stuff. And yeah, my dad said well, I don't think it's even possible, but if I got an offer for something, for some sport, he would want me to stay here because it's better for me. But my mom said the same thing, but I could just hear in her voice that she would be really sad, and I don't know if I could do that.
There's certain things where you can get not academic scholarships, you can get internships to certain colleges, you can get,
But the thing about that, I didn't graduate here,
even if you don't graduate, you could super senior too,
so I
and
can,
actually get enough credits to graduate.
yeah. But we go back to
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just
it's
really
like-
scared to maybe make the step. I would be open to it, but
But you think you could graduate? Like, you think you could graduate in the Czech Republic?
Yes.
And then come to college in here?
Yes.
Is that what you want to plan on? Is coming back here after college?
I would really like to do that. But can you if I went back and graduated, I still have 2 more years after I go back, even though I'm a senior here. This year is not counted as a year of studying for me because it's too easy.
Yeah.
So I have to go back, do senior year.
So, all your friends now are gonna be a grade above you.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
So when I came here, I thought I'm just gonna go to the grade with them, because I thought the schools in Czech they're just gonna count this year as a year of studying, but they didn't. So it was kind of really hard. And when my parents told me like you should start studying, it was like 14 days ago. I don't even know how I felt. I just was kind of got goosebumps.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I don't want to go back.
And then stop making.
That was my phone. I was getting a phone call.
But if it was
Continue.
But if it was possible, I would definitely like to go here for college.
Okay, so what are the odds, like 60-40, 20-20, 20-80, that you would rather stay here than go back? Like 50-50?
Like stay here?
Yeah. What if you
75-25.
Stay here.
So
Yes.
If you could, if you go back to the Czech Republic and graduate, would you want to like come back to Montana? Like you could for sure go to MSUB or Rocky, like MSUB especially will definitely accept you, especially being like an out of stater, and like MSUB out of country, yeah, my fault, like a foreign exchange kid, you could definitely come back and go to college there. And like especially MSUB is like a kind of like a failing college, like you only go to MSUB if you didn't like do good in your other colleges. So you could for sure come back, go to MSUB, and like live with one of us.
I think there's all these possibilities, and like even when I was in Vegas, like I was like, oh, there's no way. Like my mom just moved to Virginia, like she just bought a house, spent a bunch of money getting there, and like I just got here, we just sold a house. Like I was like, there's no way where it's like financially we're gonna get back to Billings.
Yeah.
I think, and it's something I prayed on for a very long time. I was like, I seriously don't know how. Like I'm gonna get by. Like I feel like I have to be back in Billings. Like I need that environment. I think you really have to take into consideration what God can do. I think it's like seriously insane. Like 70-20, 75-25. Like me, it was 100, like 99, 1%. It felt like, I talked to my mom. I'd ask her, I was like, I'm sorry, 2 more years, you got it. Like I thought I was like, I'm cooked, like no, but like, it was kind of hard, and when I found out, I think you have to first off realize like your parents like love you, like they will take that into consideration that you're happier here, and it's gonna be hard to make that change from there back to Czech Republic or here back to Czech Republic. So I think that's gonna be a big thing your parents are gonna see, and if you're like affected by it, like your parents love you, like they're gonna see that. They can, I'm sure, make it happen. I'm sure, like for your,
Yeah.
happiness and your
It's just
goodness.
really hard.
Yeah.
When I came here, I just thought I'm gonna learn English, maybe make some friendships, and then just go back. But
Yeah, you could, and like if you hate like doing all that stuff, you can take into consideration like You can do stuff inside of the church. Like you can like,
I can't even speak English.
yeah, you can. You're speaking English.
You're on a podcast. You're on an English podcast.
You can speak. You're speaking fluent English with us. Like you don't have to like,
You don't need to know all these fancy words.
and you don't even need like. You could definitely go on like mission trips.
This kid just farted.
But you can go like you can definitely go on mission. Like you can go to college. You can go to college for like mission trips. You can be a pastor. You can work in like 4th and 5th grade ministry. Like you can do all those things when you come back. Like there's like a bunch of colleges that have like open opportunities you can like do. So that could be a possibility if you don't find any joy in like other like careers.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is the cost.
No, it's leave it.
The biggest. Sorry, man. The biggest thing. The biggest thing about colleges is the price.
Yeah.
In Czech, it's free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would probably need to get a full ride to, like, go here.
Would college?
And it would be really hard with visas because I have a student visa here, and when it expires, I'm done. So yeah,
See, he's already picking up the English brain rot.
yeah.
No, one thing I did notice that was like still crazy to me. Like, when did you come to Movement the first time? Like, 2 months ago? 3
Yeah,
months ago?
it was like
It's crazy.
I don't know, maybe
Like,
in the middle of January.
ooh, was it Christmas service at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You came at the worst time.
Yeah,
They were playing the worst.
No,
music.
I came at the best time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is like the like amount you've like advanced, like even from then, like do you have moments still where you're kind of like hesitant on your faith?
No.
Not at all. You're like believe
Sometimes
there's
when
things you
people-
question, but like
Sometimes when people ask me like, there's all these wars going on, like people get killed that are Christians, I don't know, somewhere. How do you
You can't.
how do you like you can't?
You can't.
well,
Well,
a big thing is Christians are still vulnerable to other people's free will. I mean,
Not the
wars a
same.
lot of times break out because of people's free will and what they decide and decisions they make. I mean, you had those 70 Christians that just got beheaded in Europe, you know? Like that, was it God's fault that that happened?
it was done out of free will.
And also when like that I kind of noticed that I didn't get in the first time is when something good happens, you just thank God. But when something bad happens, you blame it on the devil. Like, how does that work?
Not necessarily. No.
I was trying to.
It depends. See, the thing that I think is very like confused in Christianity, I think there's a lot of circumstances that you have to consider in the scenario. I mean, when something good happens, of course, thank God. But something bad happens, you know, I think you should still rejoice. I mean, one of my favorite verses, James 1:2-4, like, you know, rejoice or here, let's see if I can quote it. It's like, no, I'm not quoting it.
okay, you can
We're
just
working
try-
on
you
it. But
can
like,
just
it's
try to
gonna
say
be
what it's
like,
about.
it's like, you know, rejoice when you come across times of hardship. You know, like, because out of it comes perseverance. You
Yeah,
know.
I don't know what that means. Can you, like,
So like, when you go through hard times, it's gonna make you stronger in the end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's kind of like it helps you through it. So I think a lot of times God will challenge you and put you through like trials and tribulations. You know, like hard times.
Like you,
That's
yeah,
all it
you
is.
go through hard times a lot of the time to grow closer to God.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. And
Cause like back to like Roman's testimony, he was stuck in Vegas. Like he was going through a hard time, and he found God in that time of struggle, and it helped him a lot get through it. Like he could have just not found God and just been angry at everything and scared and depressed, but he found like a moment of joy in God, and it helped him get through that hard time in Vegas.
God's gonna give you a hard time, and Satan's gonna change your view on it. You know, Satan's say, "Hey, this is God's fault. This is like, you know, why would such a loving God let this happen to me?" And that's not the whole purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of it is perspective too. He like he is like the best at changing your perspective. Like if I'm gonna go through something, he's gonna like put in my head like, oh, this is God's fault. He's like making you do this. All these things are happening because he's making you do this. But I'm like if I commit a sin, that's out of my own free will. God doesn't make me commit that sin. I do it out of my own free will.
100%. Yeah. I mean, we'll all have times like that, you know. I'm sure through like, go back to Czech Republic, like, you're going to have times, you know, you're going to question. I still in Vegas, like, I was strong in my faith, but I was like what's going on, you know? It's going to happen. You just got to be prepared for that. So I want to tell you right now, like, you're going to have moments, and I hope you remember, because it's going to be difficult, and it's not going to be easy, I'm sure. Especially without a community, it's not.
You
But
gotta,
something
try
comes
and,
out of it.
you gotta try and build a community. Like, you're gonna be so like, oh my gosh, dude, this Jesus thing, this God thing is so awesome. You're gonna go back and tell your friends, and like, if they make fun of you, so be it. Maybe they're not supposed to be your friends. Like, keep nudging them about it. But like, I bet you Tomas will like be like, oh heck yeah, man, let me learn more about this. And like, that's where you start a strong community, and people are gonna be like, oh, these guys are following this guy named Jesus. Maybe I can ask him a couple questions, and like they'll start following it. Like, you'll be like a light that like the Czech Republic could be in a darkness, and you're the light coming back to help them.
I think you have a very strong testimony, especially like the like miracle that happened. You know, like someone giving their life to God's the greatest miracle that can ever happen. And I think you, out like, you know, like no like ounce of faith, all it really took, like it says, a mustard seed of faith, and you grew, and that sprouted. You know, so I think that would be really powerful for you.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning where I went to the youth group 1st. I was really, I don't know why, it was really weird, and I was really scared of getting judged by others. I don't feel that no more. I don't know what happened, but I just feel really good about everything that I'm doing.
Like in a church, you're not supposed to feel judged. Like you're in God's dwelling place. Like, that's what a lot of people get wrong about churches. Like they're scared of being judged. Like, there's gonna be judges at church. Like, there's gonna be people who are going through hardship, like saying, "Why is Roman here? I'm so much better than him." But you just gotta be like, man, I'm not. I go through hardships. You go through hardships. But we need to build each other to do it. Like, you shouldn't be afraid of them judging you, because like, their opinion shouldn't matter to you. You know, what should matter to you is how God sees you.
Yeah, the first time I came there, and I was like so confused about the whole concert stuff, and everyone just started singing, and it was so beautiful. Like, no one was scared to do anything. It just made me smile. I was just smiling constantly. Everyone was singing. No one cared if you screwed up or mispronounced something. I don't know. It just felt so
Little
good.
voice crack.
Yeah. Everyone just, it was so
When
good.
you accidentally sing before the lyrics start.
Yeah.
Or when you have no tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
Who cares?
They just don't care. Yeah. I want to say something. I forgot.
I don't want to put you on the spot here. I have a question for Jackson. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what was your like process? What was your process like? I know you went through like a very like changing, like life-changing injury. You know, like to start a football season. So like, what was your like thought process through that? Like, how did you go through that with your, you know, spiritually or mentally or whatever?
A lot of isolation. When I was in the hospital, you know, my parents were always there, but my mom had work. Got to support the rest of the family. My dad always stayed with me, but I know I always felt bad because he has a life. Like, I don't want him to just have to sit here and watch me go through all this pain. And I didn't see like any light. Like, it's hard to think about. Like, I would look outside and everything would just be dim. Like, my life was literally like covered like a light over a blanket. I mean, a blanket over a light. So it was hard, but there was a lot of isolation, and I didn't think I would ever play sports again, because a lot of doctors would say, like, you're lucky if you can even walk again. You're lucky if your leg
Have a leg.
yeah, you're lucky if you even keep your leg. So it was really hard, and me thinking that, like, I've always told my parents, if I become like, this is gonna sound bad, like a vegetable, just pull the plug.
I
Like,
think that's a lot of people.
I don't want to be seen like that ever. And me not being able to do what I love, sports, being active with my friends, you know, literally walking around like a normal person, it's gonna be a lot harder to be happy. And I didn't see any solution except for like literally killing myself. Like, that wasn't a thought, Like I never thought about that, but like I feel like that was my only.
Way out of the
Yeah.
trouble.
But my relationship with God, I blamed him 100%. And I feel guilty about it, but I mean, like, my
Nothing
mind,
wrong
I don't think my mind was mature enough to realize that, I don't know, I'm stronger than this and God has my back through it.
It's kind of a humbling experience a little bit.
100%.
Because I think, sometimes you can get checked like that, like something like that happens, And in my mind, I mean, this is how I at least view it. Maybe football or sports became something you came to idolize, and God had to take that away,
100%
And
agree.
he-
Could have been like a gut check, because like you know how you're in church sometimes, and like there's a sermon and it just gut checks you.
Yeah.
It could have been a gut check experience, but like a really bad one.
Yeah,
You're telling me.
yeah, seriously.
But I still have my leg and I'm like
Oh,
running around.
you want to talk about how fast that recovery was in the prayer?
Oh, yeah.
This kid was back on the field making one-hand catches within like 2 months of him having surgery. He was doing like 6 hours of PT every single day. This boy was grinding.
It was brutal. PT.
Worst PT I've ever done in my life. If you ever get compartment syndrome, which
Just cut the leg
pray,
off, it's worth it.
I pray you don't. I pray no one in the world ever gets compartment syndrome. It is the worst thing. It leaves disgusting, ugly scars, and you should never get it. I have to. Like, I have to wear a brace over it now. But, yeah, you want to talk about the prayer?
Yeah. So, we were in movement one week, and Jackson, I think he was in crutches still. Were you limping? I don't remember.
No,
One
I
of
was
them.
in crutches.
He was in crutches, and our youth pastor, our youth leader, Robert, he comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, like, what happened? Like, compartment syndrome." Tells him the whole spiel. So, Robert, like, didn't even say a word. I don't remember him saying anything. He literally just instantly heard it and just got down and started praying over his leg, and he prays for healing. He prays for this and that. And that was when he was in the crutches. That was before he was making that crazy recovery. So that was like, he was pretty much fresh out of the hospital almost, right?
Like a week out.
Yeah, like a week after the hospital. And Robert comes up to him, he prays. And honestly, I was there. Me and Jackson, we did not think anything of it. I was like, oh, sweet, like, all right. But in that moment, did you feel like something like special, or did you not even like really like?
I didn't even realize, like, what.
Like the power of prayer.
Yeah. Didn't even think about it.
Oh, this
Another thing, I didn't tell you guys, but one day I went to church. It was me. I think I got dropped off by my parents because they were going somewhere. But I went alone when I was in crutches. And this old woman, she had like white hair. Like, she looked like, I swear, like an angel. Like, I've never seen her at the church again. She sat in the first row on the left side. She was drinking like tea. I don't know why I remember that. But she prayed over my leg, and that's when it was still wrapped up. And like, it's like the wrap was like loose after. Like, it literally got like moved. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it was freaky. But that was a really big turning point, and Robert's prayer was a huge turning point.
Do you think like a big way of you reconnecting with God is community? Like you were in that time of isolation, and as soon as you got back out into like a strong, faithful community, you think that helped you a little
100%.
bit?
100%. I feel like with God, a community works 10 times better than being isolated. Like, Kryštof, if you build a community, your faith will only
It's
grow.
gonna be 100 times stronger.
It will only grow.
Do you
But if-
remember that? I want to bring it up to like about prayer. Do you remember when you rolled your ankle at church camp and Robert prayed over you, and the next day you were perfectly fine?
Oh, I do remember that. That was weird. Me and Jackson were both.
Both ankles were broke.
Yeah, no, I do remember that actually. And it low-key, it was like bad. I was like fighting to get from place to place. Like we had to play
I
a
do
game after
remember
that. Remember the rocks? We had to run over all these like rocks, like
So back to like
Oh,
to
God.
start off, we get to the camp, we get to put our stuff away. 30 minutes in, we have to go down to the chapel. 30 minutes in, we're playing a game where we have to run all around the campus of camp.
Oh my god.
Me and Jackson are in Birkenstock. He was in his Croc slides. I was in Birkenstocks, and we were running everywhere. And all you hear is Roman goes, "My ankle!"
Mine was cooked. I don't know.
Yours was at the night game. We were playing
yeah.
No,
scavenger
that's
hunt.
not when I
His
hurt
was
my-
his was scavenger hunt when he like
I remember.
rolled it in a rock.
Really? No, that's not when I hurt my
Dude,
ankle.
that was terrible.
I hurt my ankle.
That's me.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I hurt my ankle. We were on the
Axe throwing, I
the
think.
skid.
Yeah.
What are the water things that with the tarp and they like you soak.
Oh,
it.
yeah, yeah.
That game was fun. Anyway, I was on it and they're just like hit slide on it and I don't know what happened. I dove. And like I hit like a jump, like your boy was airborne for like, and I came back down and my like two like these whatever these are called like
Your
my,
ankle balls?
Yeah, my ankle balls were like
Your-
like they collided and
tibias.
it hurt so bad. It was the most painful thing. It was brutal. And then like get back to the cabin, Robert prayed over it. And it was like crazy. Like that's low-key faith.
Mm-hmm.
But it always makes me think like, do you have to have faith on both sides or one side? You know what I mean? Because I think of Jesus performing these miracles, and a lot of the time, I don't know, because I think a lot of time these people had some sort of faith to come.
Like
to
they were
Jesus.
like, they were like, Lord, Lord. They were crying out to him like to help him. So I think if it's like both-sided faith, I think it can be one-sided faith. Like if I'm one-sided faith of something, and like say you're going through a drought and like you're just really sad and you're just like really struggling with your relationship, and I'm faithful that you are like going to get through it, and I keep praying for you, I keep praying over you, and like you slowly start getting back to it. I think that can work, but I think it is a lot stronger. Like if you're faithful going through a hard time and I'm faithful going through a hard time, and we just keep praying about it, that it's gonna help. It's gonna be a lot stronger because God's gonna be like, all right, let's go. I got you.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, because I think of the story when there was a crowd around Jesus, and one woman touched his shoulder,
And
out
he
of
was-
everyone, and he was like, "Who touched my shoulder? Like, who was that?" And it was because of her faith, right? Like, that's why he was like, "Who was that?" And he healed her for whatever it was. Oh, good catch.
iPad is at 10%.
We should be fine.
Now we're good.
Oh, it's still recording. Let me shut off.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Okay, so when you guys lose someone in the face of God, like a loved one who really believed in God, do you think that impacts your faith? Not even like if they pass away, if they just like
Are out of your life.
yeah.
I think it's for a reason. Like, if me and Roman were to disconnect from each other and we have such a good relationship, or we're all supposed to disconnect from each other, I think it's just God's plan. Like, there's a reason you're going down this road. You just gotta stay faithful, and maybe He'll let you guys come back.
Again, I think there's a lot of circumstances. I mean, I think if I'm in a point in my life where I'm going through a really, really like bad time, and if I'm, just driving away from God, and I lose someone that might have been very faithful and pushing me, I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good at all. But like Caleb said, if I'm like on fire and someone's just going out of my life and it's kind of out of my control, is that a bad thing? I don't know. It depends. You got to consider the circumstances, like who that person is and like what they do.
they're going down.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And sometimes you might even not understand. Like, some things can just happen and you don't understand why, but you just have to follow it, like you were saying,
And I think if it's like you're supposed to, I think love with an open door. You can have like, you don't have to invite someone back into your life if they like mess you up, but I think just like if you depart from them for no reason, just give them like a text sometimes, like, hey man, how are you doing? And like if they don't answer you, man, they don't answer you.
Love from a distance, 100%.
Gotta be a flickering light, like Race Newman said.
Yeah. The pickle, or what was it? Remember the pickle?
Dude, we got in like an argument about the pickle.
Or something.
You guys did? Oh, when we were in small group? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
There was something about like I don't know. If we can-
Like if
I
there's
remember I
a
brought it
pickle in your macaroni salad, you're gonna be aggravated at it.
Because
It ruins everything.
yeah. But Ron was like, "Oh, it doesn't ruin everything. You just taste it."
yeah. Excellent.
Shout out Rowan though.
Shout out Rowan.
Another real one.
You're a very intelligent young man.
He's gonna be a future.
Yes, on the podcast.
Yeah, that too.
And he's
Also,
gonna let us into the studio they work at.
camera fella. We can't diss on him. No, but yeah. Gosh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about your leg again. Oh yeah. So like, I remember having a conversation with you, and you were like, it was after you were healed and you were back on your feet. You were kind of talking. You were like literally, like I don't see any reason at all, like why God would have done that. You know what I mean? So like now, like after you got past, like, do you still have that mindset a little bit?
Yeah.
You think so?
I feel like the only reason would have been the idolization, but I feel like I wasn't even like. Maybe he saw it a different way than I did, but
Yeah, sometimes God.
I mean, I would go out of my way to go to church, like every Wednesday, right after practice. Go out of my way, like after a sweaty, hot, long practice. But maybe
Do you think you're pursuing that intentional time too?
with God, yeah.
Yeah. So, like we were just saying, sometimes you might not understand why, but he saw something like you just said that could have happened in the future. Like this is another thing. Like there's so many things. Like what if he took your leg? Nah, I was gonna say what if he took your leg out. Because the next game you're gonna get your head blown off and die, but like no, that's not.
Like
that's
what?
not-
really.
What I
Things
like
like
to
that happen.
what I like
I
to
think
say
about
is
that.
like,
You do?
this is your testimony. I think you're going through this because you're gonna help someone in the future with it. Like, what if you?
Hopefully, no one gets that.
Well, not like that, but like, what if you're in the church and people like, or like you're a sport, like you're a physical therapist, and you like, yeah, man, I went through a sports injury, but I found God in my struggle, and He helped me get through it. Like, what if it's you went through a trial and tribulation, to use it in the future to help people grow closer to God?
Again, it's like all these like possibilities. Like we don't know.
We don't know because we don't know what God's gonna do, man.
But one thing I do have to say, not like about your future, because like we don't know, but I remember you saying like you just with Kryštof, like like, and it's true, like community, 100% is gonna help you grow rather than isolation. But sometimes isolation is a building point. I saw this thing, and I cannot remember what it was. I think I have it in my notes somewhere on my phone. I'll look at it in a sec. But there's like steps, and there's sometimes like things like God might put you through, and it's like the 7 P's. I can't remember. It's like place, people, like whatever. But sometimes I think that isolation is, I think you're like maybe undershooting it. Like that could have helped you. Do you think it like that midst of like pain and suffering, like that could have helped you?
I think it drugged me by my throat away from God.
Really?
No joke. Like I basically hated God. Like I was
Really?
I was so mad with God. Like
Really?
it took my whole junior season away. Like I can't imagine a worse punishment. Like my favorite sport just taking a whole season away. Like it just messed up so many things, like offers, like being able to tape, like
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, if you hated God for Him taking that away, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't have hated him though.
I know, but I'm just saying that's in like you just said it, like gut check. I think maybe you were. I don't want to like take shots, but maybe you
Maybe.
were. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
could have been because like if you hated God for Him taking that away, you know what I mean? Then-
I just don't see a reason why, if I was not idolizing football, which I could have been, but if I wasn't, there would be any reason for him to take it away.
100%. Well, if you were, then
Yeah.
So, I guess we don't know, but.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. But, yeah. Nah, I think it's something that would be possible
Yeah.
in the future.
Can I ask you, Roman, what started your relationship with Jesus? Like, did
Jesus.
your parents, you know what I mean?
What started it?
Yeah.
That's funny. I actually talked to my mom about it. She, like, brings it up. I remember one day she was like, I was really, like, ashamed of it. Gosh, I'm not going to give the whole, like, story, but it started with curiosity, and then it went to, like, fear, and then it went to, like I kind of need this, low-key. Like, it was, like, slow, like,
Yeah.
build up, like, over, like, 3 years, probably.
I built this in 3 months. I really needed this. I was
Yeah.
kind of lost.
100%. And I think what started it is honestly the curiosity could have been, like, I've always had this, like, idea of, like, what happens after death. Like, I've always had that idea. And that's been a big thing, and I take all these things into consideration. Like, for a while, I thought it was reincarnation. For a while, I didn't know. I did believe it was heaven and hell. I didn't know that. I thought as if you were a good person, you go to heaven, bad person, you go to hell, like, whatever.
And
So, what were you going to say?
is it like that? If you're a good person, then you're following
Well, I
God?
mean, if you believe in Jesus and confess and repent of your sins, then you'll be saved, you know?
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, and I never have a solid answer to give someone, but it was genuinely a slow build-up. It wasn't a momentary thing. I think there were videos that would pop up. My mom would be like, yeah, she'd point out me listening to, like, sermons on my phone, like, eating, like, during dinner.
Yeah.
And being like, like, that's weird. Like, he's, like, looking into this. And shout out Mom. You know, she was supportive of it, like, the whole way through.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And she still, like, helps me. Like, she's super kind.
Good question. So I remember you talking about how your mom went to church with you that one day. How has she been recently? Because I remember that dream you told me about.
I think she's been great. I'm sure she's going to be watching this right now.
Has she been going to
watched the
church
last one.
or no?
She's been working a lot on church, so it's been hard for her. It's like she worked tonight. She's gonna come back and she has to sleep. She's a night nurse, so she gets home at like 8 a.m. and then sleeps till 3-ish, and you know it's kind of hard for her to get to service in the morning because you know. But when she's able to, she 100% wants to go to church, and I'm like super grateful for that. And she does ask questions. I think she's curious and this and that. I think it's a step. You know, it's hard to talk about because I'm sure she'll be watching this at some point. But
Yeah,
like,
it's okay.
yeah. But I think it's something that's like starting, and I'm not positive where she's at. I haven't talked to her too much about it. But like today, she asked me a question about God. What was it? She literally asked me a question. It was oh gosh, I'm trying to think.
Explosive water.
It was like
Facing.
I can't remember. It was something. She asked me a question about God. That's bottom line. So, so that actually made me really happy because I mean that shows that little mustard seed of faith.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to say, but I think she's definitely has that mustard seed to start with.
It's really good.
How do you think, like, when you go through a tribulation, do you think, like, how do you think you keep your relationship with God? What the frick is on my leg?
I think for me, it got really dark. There was a series of events that built up on each other, and it was like I was connected with God. Something happened, you know, shied away. Something else happened, shied away. Something else happened, shied away. And then at a point, my faith was like, I don't know, the size of like a grain of sand. And after that, I had no hope, no nothing. You know, when you're that, I don't know how to explain, like,
When you're at that point.
yeah, when you're at that point, you look for hope. Like anything, any source of hope is
Like when you're surrounded by so much darkness, you look for the little bit of light
exactly. And I think God was my little bit of light.
that you needed.
Yeah, didn't have a choice.
Like you gotta force yourself to look for hope. Is that how you were feeling?
Yeah,
I mean, some people don't. That's not always going to be the case. I mean, that's why some people don't get out of that. You know, like, I mean, Jackson could just as easily. I mean,
It's been like, yeah, I'm
not
done with
look for
this.
that.
Like,
Like whatever.
you could have been like, I went through this. Like, yeah, I'm done. I don't get why this happened to me. This is not fair. But you,
that's still how I am.
yeah. But you found a way to get through it. Like you could have just been like done with everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
You could have took the easy way out. You know what I mean? Not gone the hard road.
I don't know. I think there is a chance you did get something out of that, like that you might not realize yet, and it's a growth.
Hopefully one day I realize.
Of course. I mean, we don't know now, but you know, I think there's something to see out of that. But from my perspective, I think it'll be maybe it's something like a momentary thing. I don't know. We could sit here and talk and debate about what it could have been, but time will tell. Honestly.
There's gonna be a reason why, but maybe you just don't. Maybe it's just God waiting for you to see why it happened. You just gotta be patient and trust His timing, cause it's His timing.
I just saw a post.
What? Trust His timing.
It was just don't. It's His timing, not mine. It's literally just that. But
Sometimes those Instagram posts just be like, all right, guys.
Don't leave me hanging, please.
All right.
So
P.
the 6 P's I was talking about, it goes place, presence, provision, personality, purpose, and perimeters. I don't know really how to break this down. Place, I think, was like for example Vegas for me. Place was having to be in that place of it, or maybe Jackson, in the hospital, or I don't know, but I think that's environment. Presence, see, I don't know, I can't break all of these down. Like provision, not sure. I think this would be something really good to like speak on and look into more. And I don't want to go too into it because like I don't want to spread false information that I'm not positive on.
Let me have Shane on.
Yeah. Shane will help us out. But is that warm over there?
No, I want Shane on.
Shane? Yeah, no.
I love hearing Shane talk.
Yeah, I know.
Who's Shane?
That boy got ball knowledge.
Ball.
Shane got ball knowledge.
He has about as much ball knowledge.
He is the Bible.
As Stephen A. does on basketball.
Stephen A. got ball knowledge. Stephen A. Smith.
Who is that?
Stephen A. Smith.
Who is this?
The one that was like, I don't know. He has some cool quotes, but something. Quotes.
Okay, let's go. Just go.
All right. I think how long has this podcast been going for? I think we should like wrap it up. I mean,
No.
I have nothing else to talk about. I talk about place, provision, personality, perfection. I don't know.
So when is the trip?
Yeah.
This video is gonna take a lot of editing. Not no biggie. Well, I'll believe it. All right, so we should probably like watch the video after over too, because we don't want it to be like chopped. Feel me?
All right. Thanks for watching, brothers in Christ. Great episode this week.
Wait, can we cut? My hand was in my pants. Restart.
Great episode this week. Thanks for tuning in. We love you guys. You are awesome. Jesus loves you.
Right here. You have to be right here. You guys have to go quicker than us. Okay. 2 minutes. Yeah.